Good day. We are group number 3, composed of Ms. Pilar Pinga Cruz, Ms. Mary Ann Navarro, Mr. Salvador Santos III, Mr. Rainier Albert Villanueva, and yours truly, Mr. Marvin Butchayo. Our group will present issues about leftover women, including its effect on the rights of women. What are leftover women? Leftover women is a derogatory term popularized by the Chinese government to describe unmarried women in their late 20s and 30s. In China, early marriage was traditionally prevalent, with only 2% of women aged 30 to 34 being single by 2005, compared to 10% of men. The introduction of the one-child policy in 1979 led to a significant gender imbalance, resulting in approximately 20 million more men than women. By 2006, the term Sheng or leftover women emerged to describe unmarried women over the age of 27. This term was officially recognized in 2007 and became a part of the national lexicon. In response to the growing demographic imbalance and societal pressure, the government and media began to promote the idea that educated and married women were less desirable as they aged. Women are still expected to marry up. In traditional views of gender roles, husbands are expected to be dominant in a relationship, and they are also expected to be educated and have careers, unlike women who are instead expected to be more family oriented and domesticated.
What are the effects of the issue of Shenhu on women? The term Shenhu perpetuates harmful stereotypes and contributes to a discriminatory environment involving double standards for women. Societal pressure and media portrayals often view these women as failures due to their status. Family and society still have a strong expectation for women to fulfill their motherhood and traditional role or character, to find a man, and to get married. Marital status is thus equated to accomplishments and success. In our modern world, women are expected to fulfill modern and industrial expectations in order to survive and be financially ready to live in an urban setting. These women became independent, educated, and financially wealthy. However, due to the hypergamy expectation that men should be better than women in terms of finances, education, and career, difficulties in finding a match for these women are inevitable. That sometimes they tend to also lower their expectations for men whom they can marry. Shenhu, as a derogatory language for unmarried women who are accused of being unable to fulfill the so-called natural role of a woman, creates a double standard for women between their traditional role and the industrialized world standards.
The concept of Sheng greatly affects women in one way or the other. One is through psychological pressure. It creates immense societal pressure on women to marry, and often leading to anxiety, depression, and lowered self-esteem. Second is having limited choices. It reinforces the idea that a woman's worth is tied to her marital status, limiting her choices in career, education, and personal life. Third is discrimination. It can lead to discrimination in employment and social situations, as unmarried women may be seen as less desirable or capable. It is important to challenge this harmful stereotype and promote women's autonomy and freedom to choose their own life paths. Third, Sheng is best explained by the dominance theory, which is a feminist concept linked to Catherine McKinnon. It argues that male dominance is the fundamental reason behind women's oppression. In the context of Sheng, the theory would likely analyze and criticize the societal norms and structures that compel women to marry, viewing these norms as instrument of male influence. In addition, the theory emphasizes how the Sheng label perpetuates women's subordination by devaluing those who do not adhere to traditional expectations.
One of the rights being violated on the issue of leftover women is the right to equality and non discrimination. Under Article 1 of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, it defines discrimination as any situation where women are treated differently based on their sex, which hinders their ability to exercise their fundamental rights. It is also violative of Republic Act number 9710, or otherwise known as the Magna Carta of Women Law. Under this act, discrimination against women is prohibited. It provides that public and private entities and individuals found to have committed discrimination against women and violated their rights shall be subject to sanctions. Another right being violated by the concept of Sheng is the woman's right to choose. Under this right, women have the right to choose their partner and the timing of marriage without societal pressure. In the context of leftover women, pressure to marry is part of the societal stigma which is attached to unmarried women, which tends to restrict their choices. The Chinese parents of these unmarried women advertise or market them in such a way that limits their own choices. This is pursuant to Article 7 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Under this article, it states that all are equal before the law and are entitled without any discrimination to equal protection of the law. All are entitled to equal protection against any discrimination.
With all these challenges, is there any way to resolve these issues? The answer is a resounding yes. First is promoting and supporting feminist movements. These movements in various countries challenge traditional gender roles and advocate women's empowerment, including the freedom to choose marriages and childbearing on their own terms. For example, digital feminist activism has used social media and online platforms to share stories, create campaigns, and other discussions that address Shen stigma. An example is the hashtag Shen, where online communities for unmarried women provide support and challenge the stereotype. In addition, the shift in public perception has started. More and more women, not only Chinese, are prioritizing education and careers, becoming independent women, delaying marriage, or choosing not to marry at all. Media portrayal also shifts as some media outlets increasingly showcase successful single women. Prior to the revolution, women faced significant oppression and limitations. They had limited access to education, property ownership, and political participation. When the Women's Federation was founded, it played a role in legal reform that advocated and implemented legal changes that granted women equal rights in marriage and property ownership. It also encouraged women's education and promote literacy campaigns to empower women, increase their participation in government and the workforce. In conclusion, the concept of leftover women may be prolific and serious in China, but this phenomenon is not isolated in that country alone. It is in fact a global phenomenon, with terms like Christmas cake in Japan and South Korea, and kalhada in Brazil, crazy cat lady in the United States, and napag-iwanan in the Philippines, to name a few. This reflects a deeply rooted societal discrimination against women based on their age and marital status, and undermines the principles of equity, autonomy, and non-discrimination under international and local laws. To combat these stereotypes against women who are unmarried, laws must be enacted and enforced to prohibit discrimination based on marital status, their age, and must ensure fairness in all societal aspects. Additionally, education and cultural reform are crucial in fostering inclusivity and respect for women's diverse role in society. Together, these measures will promote equal rights and dignity for all women, regardless of their marital status.